every single time.
Even with Zoom, I'm always getting problems. It's so annoying.
And I know the internet's a thing. I know there's like a level of expectations with the internet. One of them is don't make my face fuzzy in the middle of the interview, right?
But that happens.
It still does that all the time. Either way, dude, I'm super happy to have you back on the show. You've got like a long history of like solving people's problems, helping them get more clients. And what I find really interesting about the way you communicate and teach is like, get it on your plate and then get it off your plate ASAP. Like don't dwell on it, which is like the difference between a freelancer and a CEO. And I know that we've got an agenda, but what I want to do is like for everybody that's watching this, if you have certain questions or comments about Alex and like how he helps people get clients and fulfill the orders ASAP, just drop them in there. I'd be happy to integrate those questions into the chat. But the first bullet point that we've got going over right now is like the 3 common problems and challenges that you've seen with agency owners in your program, and the fast ways to fix them, right? And what I've noticed with agency owners that I serve is like they'll get a client and then they'll freak out immediately. So like customer research is like our unique selling position, right? Like that's why we're different than everybody else, plus the soap opera sequence, right? Like as long as it's up and running, customer research can determine whether or not your campaign will work beforehand, all that stuff. But very often they'll be like, oh my God, how do I do the ads? How to do the landing page? It ends up taking like 12 hours when it should take like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? But you've got a unique way of solving that, right? So like, how do you communicate to your clients, your students about getting stuff off your plate ASAP?
Such a good question. I know this is not what you expect it to be, Jeff, but this is literally the reality of the biggest obstacle. The biggest obstacle is not marketing. It's not sales questions. It's not how to provide for my clients. It's how to get out of your own way. And I don't mean that in like in a literal sense of like, like I am doing all the work in my business and I'm a freelancer. All those things are relevant. I'm literally talking mental, like mental fortitude of most entrepreneurs I speak to outwardly is very strong, but what they're really dealing with, they feel like is a weakness. Like, I'm not certain if I'm good enough. I'm not certain if I can really help people. And am I an imposter? Am I a bad person for pushing people? Why am I so stressed out all the time? The walls are consistently closing in. So I want to be able to use this amazing platform that you're providing to us, Jeff, to express right now, like anyone that's watching this, you are 100% not alone at all. Like I literally get messages every single day. Just before I got on this live, literally 10 seconds ago in my Slack channel, I got a message from someone that people know in this space. I'm not going to say who or what. That's not appropriate. They said this: can you recommend a resource to learn more about lowering the stakes and an abundant mindset? I get too invested in every sales call, i.e. I waste too much time leading up to it, thinking about it, overthinking it, running through scenarios in my head, all of it negative. On the calls, I feel fine. Just the lead up, I get stressed. I want to get better at being able to focus and be productive right into the call, not stew on it an hour before and hate myself. So common. This legitimately is the biggest problem. And the truth is also, Jeff, and I want to be transparent about it because this is really important to me, myself, and I don't mean to speak for you, Jeff, but I think also we are not properly equipped to provide the answer for that. I think the best answer that I can give you is knowing that you're not alone, number one. The stakes aren't as high as you need to say them. Like, I'll make the stakes high for you right now. Are you ready? After my event that we're going to talk about later, I have to have heart surgery. Yay! They have to cut a thing open here. And they got to go in here and fix it, right? Yeah. And I can sit here every single day and feel super shitty about myself and about life and the scenarios, but also I can reflect on the alternative positive things of like how much impact we're making, all the incredible things I've already done with life. It's not cancer. I'm going to be alive. Like, we consistently up the stakes in our mind in life in general. And that has been, in my opinion, the biggest obstacle for agency owners that I'm not really equipped to answer. But when I'm presented with this problem, the thing that I recommend is this. Number one, meditation every single day. Give yourself 10 minutes to slow down. You're probably running so fast. Like if you're getting out of bed, rolling into Facebook and like, blah, 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 going into your client emails. Oh my God, it's terrible. You have to have parameters, right? Like if you were working in a car company at a 9-to-5 job, promise you by the time 6 p.m. rolls around, you're not thinking about that Lexus that came through the dealership because they don't mean anything to you. But the client that's a chiropractor means everything to you, not just the money, but the person, the relationship, the rapport. And you put so much onus and pressure on it, trying to be this like perfect human being and perfect agency owner, and it kills you and it breaks you. So meditation, and then just journaling and reflection of like the things that you're happy with in life. I use this one. I've been doing it for a while, almost 2 years. The 5-minute journal. It's like $30 for pieces of paper, which is kind of funny.
Just get a notepad, but sure, whatever.
It's literally just pieces of paper with like prompts, which for $35. But the point is, like, it's really powerful to do. So I know that's not necessarily what most people want to hear, but if I get the opportunity to express that, I think it's important. Like, don't just hide from feeling crappy about certain things. Work through feeling better about certain things and just being happy with what you're doing. So I think that's really number one.
It's so interesting. Like the digital marketing, the social media space is like the antithesis of what human beings are supposed to go through. Like, you have a normal 9 to 5 job. At like 5:30, it's okay for you to not care anymore. I'm not on the clock. That's at the shop. There's a separation between me and the business. You get to go home. But we're carrying this around all the time. Like 24/7, we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else's Stripe screenshot, somebody else's cost per lead, somebody else's testimonial. And you always feel like you're never actually keeping up. And from what I'm understanding with you is that, like, we're not supposed to do that. We're not always supposed to be stuck in this like climbing a waterfall type scenario. And there's certain things that you can do. But what I think is really interesting is, like, you have a strategy and tactic of simply employing an expert, getting it off your plate, and finding somebody else like a white label fulfillment partner, right?
Really?
Like, literally saying like, no, I'm just arbitraging and brokering and value adding my services. I can provide the strategy. The technician, he's the expert. Just like the guy that owns a car dealership, he's not going to be fixing your car, right? He's got the mechanic that he employs to fix your car. So I think that's something you talk about like later on, or specifically prospecting on demand, which is like just focus on the prospecting part and then send it out to somebody else. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think the general idea is like, what are you really good at? I'll give you an awesome example. I was posting something like, I was talking about the ultimate value ladder for your agency. And this is something we could talk about later, but like this idea that every company, in my opinion, that's in this digital space should have a digital do-it-yourself product. Jeff is a master of this, right? He has the inner circle with a bunch of $97 ones, all of them for $500. That's a brilliant technique, brilliant tactic, right? Anyone in this space is capable of doing that for your niche. Like, here's a quick little video for chiropractors on how to build more effective videos online so that people come to you, right? Having that's really valuable. Then you got the done with you, which is like the mentorship program, and done for you, the standard marketing services. And someone messaged me and they're like, what if I've got the secret sauce on the done for you, so I don't want to provide in the do it yourself? Number one, if you actually think you have secret sauce in this day and age, you're crazy. That's not true, right? There is probably a million people that can do it better than you, but are not probably good or better than you at marketing, which is fine. There's no problem with that. Like, selling yourself is key, but I think you believing that you have something unique, like actually unique, that's a fallacy. So what I tell people is, it's pretty much impossible. Pretty much what I tell people at this point is find out what you're really good at, but not just really good at, what brings you passion in life. Like, just because you're really good at sales doesn't mean that you should do it if every single sales call, you're that guy I was just talking about, like, you are literally like foaming at the mouth, freaking out, sweating profusely, like ready to die, on edge, whether or not you make a sale. Like, that is not healthy. That is not effective. That is not worth the stakes at hand, right? But if you're really good at it and it brings you life, like, sales legitimately bring me life. Like, having a conversation with someone that is unknown to me or maybe knows me from online, and then I can create a human connection to the point that they trust me enough to give me a credit card. Damn, that's amazing. That's literally incredible. And then being able to facilitate some sort of transformation, amazing, right? It's incredible. So I love doing that, but it doesn't mean you have to. So what I knew right as I started, the first time I ever saw a Dave Rogan-Moser ad, which really kicked off my agency in the first place, I knew right away, 100%, like, there's no way this brain of artistic emotional intelligence is capable of being able to crunch numbers the way that Jeff Miller can on ads. It's just not going to happen. It's not feasible. I'm not going to ever be good enough at ads. So I have two choices. I can either hone my skill in prospecting or sales, or I can hone my skill on something I'm never going to be good enough at in ads. So I just outsourced it.
You know what's so crazy is that, like, that is the opposite of what I've been taught, and I think everybody else has been taught. Like, if you suck at language arts, guess what? We're going to hold you back. You're not going to graduate. You're going to be in remedial courses. You have to focus on what you're bad at. I don't know why, right? And that has really, like, followed through with our relationship with our business, our clients and our customers. Like, if I'm bad at landing pages, oh my God, I have to get so good at this. Otherwise, I won't be able to service, which is fundamentally untrue, right?
Yeah, I think, okay, so this is so good. I'm so glad you brought this up. I think there's a very distinct difference between personal life strengths and weaknesses and business life strengths and weaknesses. So, like, One of my strengths that I believe I have is like very keen self-awareness. There's certain like massive detriments to that, but like a good example is I know that sometimes I'm like a highly emotional person. So I can be taking things to heart that I shouldn't, or like flying off the handle right away. Like if you watch a basketball game with me, for example, like watch the Miami Heat and some like explosive dunk happens, guaranteed I'm going to be the loudest person in the room because that's who I am, right? And like people are alarmed by that. They're like, whoa, I'm just like, that's just me. Like I'm just loud. I'm just aggressive. That's my personality. If I want to work on not being like overly angry or frustrated, that doesn't mean that I'm working on a weakness. It means I'm working on being a better human being myself.
Gotcha.
Right? In your business, if you suck ass at sales, you don't have to be a better human by being better at sales.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You can just focus on what you're good at. Those are two different things. Very different. Like
gotcha.
Very different. And I think that's why people struggle with it, because in their personal life, they want to work on things to be better people in general, whether it's like being angry or jealous. Jealous is like a big one. No one wants to talk about being jealous, even though every single person in the world feels it. And they feel shitty about feeling jealous and they want to be better about it. Can you work on that? Definitely. Do you have to work on being better at ads because you suck at it? No, it's literally the antithesis of progress, because you're withholding yourself from what you really want to do anyways, which is growing a company. You're not going to grow a company if you do everything. And I think that's,
I just heard something like incredibly powerful, and I think that will really impact a lot of people. There's ultimately a separation between your business skills and your personality skills if you recognize it, right? If you don't recognize it, you stuck this stuff together. And if you're bad at landing pages or bad at high level or bad at soap opera sequences, you're a bad person. You get stressed out and freak out. But if you just pull that apart, you can find somebody that can do all your automatic follow-up for you for like $297 forever. Great. Now, guess what? You're a great person. Not true, but you can start to like pull that apart and your business life becomes separate from your personal life. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I don't think, and I'm not going to pretend even a little bit, Jeff, that I have the secret sauce to separating personal and business life. Like I've definitely allowed business to consume me multiple times over. So I'm not even going to pretend on a high horse that I have that answer. But I think the reality is like being self-aware of that is key. One thing I will say for sure, and then I think I have a really good question to spark here for everyone listening. And this is super, super important, right? Like the idea comes down to this, right? If you are basing your self-value and worth based on your revenue per month, your Stripe dings, the clients you're serving, that is a really unhealthy way to live. Like I had someone, real talk, Jeff, today message me and he's like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life. And I'm like, dude, you've got 5 kids that love you. You have a wife that cares about you, make money every single month. You have a roof over your head. What are you talking about? Like what future are you looking at that right now isn't good enough? I'm not getting it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
No amount of money changes whether or not you're a good person. No amount of failures changes whether or not you're a good person. No one is better or worse than you. There is no competition. It's just you. And the reason why I'm good at expressing this is because it's the same shit that I deal with also. Because I'm a person. Jeff, I haven't told you this yet, but I'm going to launch this probably on Friday, which is tomorrow. I put together a post because a lot of people ask me when I do lives with Jeff, like, don't you guys sell competing products? When I do something with Andrew, when I do something with Rob, Joel Irway, Joel Kaplan, I put together a post, it's going to be tomorrow, of every single person that is considered competition in this space and something that I admire about them. I'm going to post that tomorrow. And the reason why is because I don't want to look at anyone as just competition, because the pie isn't shrinking. The pie is growing. Like, so much so it's impossible to handle. And I'll use it with this final note, right? Someone comes to me in my program. We have 35 people in Elite right now, Jeff, which we have the same name of the program. So we have 35 people in Elite, and they're like, okay, someone comes in, he's like, hey, I want to do chiropractors. He gets on one of the group calls. Someone else is mentioning he does chiropractors, and he messages me manually. He's like, hey, I saw he does chiropractors. Should I not do it? One for one. I'm like, okay, do you know how many chiropractors in the United States? Okay, do you know you literally can't even handle 1% of them? You can't even handle a 0.5%. What are you talking about? What is your brain doing right now? And this is what our brain does. That's how we are as human beings. It's pretty wild.
It's so interesting. Like every time I see somebody else win, one part of me that I have to fight every single day is like, he's taking part of my like the food off my table. And I have to employ the other part of my brain and go like, look, man, there's $17 trillion in the US economy alone. The biggest, most successful agency that can know, like, trust, and touch has at the most 300 clients. At the most. There's still $16 trillion left over if you took Amazon out of the picture, right? So like it makes more sense for Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan to sit down and talk shop than it is for the two of them to have friction and hatred and make no sense. And it's like it's totally like crazy to think that like, oh, that guy's going to chiropractors. I can't do chiropractors. What, like all of a sudden he showed up and now you aren't thinking about it? What about the 17,000 other people that you're magic competing with that you're unaware of? It's simply because now that you feel like they are in your circle. And you know what? You have more to learn from people in your circle than people that won't even talk to you. And I had this conversation with Christine Seal because I was like, of course I'm going to POD Live. And she's like, but I thought you and Alex compete. I was like, yeah, so like that's okay too, right? Like it's
we
totally
did a
fine.
class together. It was
no, right? Like it makes no sense.
It was awesome. So I want to add one thing to this, and then I want to ask 3 questions of the audience, Jeff, if you're cool with it, because I think Icon gave me this idea. He's like, I know the way that Jeff Miller's lives works, and I know the way to get the most impact for people. I'm like, Icon, I love you, bro. I'll listen to whatever you say. So first thing though is getting clarity on success for everyone listening, right? Like, just get clarity on what you want the mountaintop to be, right? Just get clarity on that so you can work towards that, as opposed to always thinking it's not enough. Because like you can have 5,000, it's not enough. You can have 50,000, it's not enough. You can have 500,000, it's not enough. How do you know that? I'm telling you this from experience. If we'll go into my story here in just a couple minutes about how I was literally making $0, and I was like, babe, can you imagine if we made 10? And then when we made 10, it was like, could you imagine if it was 20? Then it was 20. Could you imagine if it was 30? Jeff and I, when we were in Kansas, we were talking about him working with some like Ericsson and mobile and the difference of his mindset of like, could you imagine making 5? And then could you imagine making 50? And it just never changes because there's always naturally a next level, right? But if you don't identify that a level that you're at is something you're satisfied, happy with, or complacent with, you're never going to be happy ever. And I think that's important. Jeff, nor myself, nor anyone online, not your peers, not your friends, not your loved ones, your parents, people that you care about, no one can tell you what success means. Only you can do that. It's a definition that you must define. Only you. Very important to me. Very, very important.
Something that I'm learning from my current mentor is like, just figure out where you are and where you want to be. And don't worry about all the other stuff until you get there. I don't care if it's dollars. I don't care if it's weight. I don't care if it's personal relationships. And the weirdest part is I always ignored or didn't put on my happiness chart the third thing. Like the personal relationships, I was like, fine, whatever they come after, right? But now it's on my list. It's like one of the rocks that I have to build my business on, which I don't know if the rock is the right term, but like the bedrock of my business is like healthy personal relationships. And I got that from Nick Coram, who's my direct competition. You know what I mean? And like now that I've established like, all right, I have my business goals, my personal goals, my health goals. I'll tell you what, man, it's just so much better. I can send workout to an expert and that person gets it done faster than me. I can hire a VA to do letterbox videos just like this one right here. And I don't have to freak out because I'm not the best at ScreenFlow or whatever program, right? Like as long as I'm hitting my 3 metrics and measurements, which do change, everything is kosher.
I love that.
Everything is kosher.
So I actually learned something very similar, Jeff. Someone not even in this space. So I just took a weekend break in Vermont. I was snowboarding. Jeff, I basically broke my ass falling on the snow. Hilarious story, but basically broke my ass.
Perfect.
So we're driving back. It's a 2-hour drive back to my cousin's house. And I'm speaking to my cousin who's totally not in this space at all, but obviously sees what I do. And he's so confused, but intrigued by it and wants to learn more and understand it. Like, how do all these people answer, give a shit about you? Why are they all posting when you have heart surgery? I didn't know any of those people. Like, what's going on? And he was talking to me about his life, and he said that he builds his life on 5 pillars. And it was so impactful to me. I wrote this down, and I'm going to bring it up at POD Live. He said he builds it on family, physical health, mental health, career, and extracurricular. And I think a lot of us here, honestly, me included, and I'm not going to lie about it, spend 99.9% of our energy on our career, thinking that will then build our family, physical, mental health, and extracurriculars more effectively.
You know what? That's what we've been told our whole effing lives.
And it's not.
Get the job, you'll have the mortgage, you'll have the perfect life. It's not true at all. It's fundamentally untrue. Yeah.
All right, so we've gone pretty esoteric. Let's come back here and let's start talking about making money. I think everyone really likes this. If you guys like this, can you throw a 7 in the comments below? That's my style. So I want to see a buttload of 7s here. Also, like and love this post. Facebook likes when people engage. That's how it works. So I have 3 questions for you. All right, 3 questions. And Jeff, I want to see what you think about these because they're directly relevant. Number 1, are you running a business or a freelance agency? And if I better ask this, if you needed heart surgery like I do tomorrow, How long would your business last?
So I did a lunch and learn yesterday about like how to frame this in your brain, like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Freshman is like freelancer. You're doing everything yourself. You try to figure out your client. Sophomore year to juniors, where you start transitioning to SOPs and hiring people. And I'll tell you what, the reason why this group has been massively successful is because in the beginning it was so overwhelming. I needed desperate help. Like I couldn't figure out, I needed desperate help. And then somebody said, here's 2 or 3 SOPs, here's 2 or 3 VAs. They're going to do everything. You just have to be you. And I was like, great. Right. So like if this group, like if I disappeared from this group, it would still run. By the way, that happened for 2 weeks. I went to San Diego. It did. I got banned for like 2 weeks. I don't know why. I was in San Diego, banned. I went to Orlando, got banned. Went to Miami, got banned. And I just kept getting banned. So literally 2 weeks, I couldn't go to the group. I literally had to operate the group through a virtual assistant. And you know what? It still ran. Like it still functioned. But my agency, no. When Jeff gets sad or stops working, you know what happens? He stops prospecting. When all of a sudden, like there's no excitement in my voice, there's no sales calls. And when I can't send the email to the fulfillment team, there's no fulfillment. So like the group in the beginning was like a blessing in disguise because it showed me how to build something that works and grows without you. But my agency is still stuck in freshman year. So to answer your question, no.
It's really powerful. I want to share a personal story of Jeff and I real quick because I think this is great. A few months back, I was over at Jeff's office. He was doing like Andrew's mastermind. So I was chilling with Icon and Mel Hope, I believe. Yep. And we were just hanging out. And then we got to chill with Jeff for a little bit before we ended up running. And I had a really just very heart to heart with Jeff. And I was like, man, like, you know, I work really hard. I know you work really hard. A lot of people love our content and stuff. Like, don't you ever get nervous a little bit about like running a company that's so reliant on you? Because that's my thing. That's like what I coach. And he said something that really impacted me. He said, you know, Alex, if this was something that I did for the rest of my life every day, I'd be really happy with that.
Yep.
It made me reconsider one more time, like so much of our conversations, like especially with the Facebook algorithm is like related. How do we make money? Not like, how do I make happiness? Like, real talk, Jeff, real talk right now. If we didn't make the hype post, how I asked one question to make 12K and it was like how I made myself be happy, there'd be less people on this live.
I agree.
Money. Okay, but that's fucked up, right? I mean, real talk. That's not right, you know? So something to consider. And I'm glad that we had the chance to kind of bring this up and talk about it. So again, are you running a business or a freelance agency? Where are you at in your years of high school? Freshman, sophomore, junior?
My agency is still stuck freelancer. And it's because I haven't figured out how to make the prospecting engine run automatically. It sputters. And I haven't figured out a sales deck that converts consistently at 20, 30%. It's like some weeks it's like, oh, that was great. And then some weeks it's like all the way down. And I haven't figured out a white label fulfillment partner that I'm entirely confident that I can send everything or have a bench of experts. Okay. I can see the chunks, but the engine isn't performing as great as I want it to be.
Okay, well, do you want to know the pitch deck that works consistently? I will tell it to you right now.
I am all ears, and so are everybody else watching.
I need to just open mine up here. Give me 10 seconds so I can get it open for you. White label product pitch deck, because I want to answer this for you. And guys, while we're doing this, where are you at right now in your biz? I want to hear from you on it. Of course, your computer is going to go 10 times slower when you are doing a live because that's how it works.
Yeah.
But this is some really, really important stuff. So I'm glad we got to bring it up.
If you're looking to screen share, send it my way, and then I can have it pop up.
No, I'm just trying to open it up on my end.
Gotcha.
Just like get it open. But I don't know if it's actually going to open up. If not, it's totally fine. I have the other answer. Let me open this here. But yeah, so there is 5 slides that I recommend you utilize when you are creating a pitch deck. The first one is the "Is this you" slide. Have you ever heard of this before? The "Is this you" slide. The "Is this you" slide is a great qualifying slide. And essentially what you do on that slide is just identify, and you open it up in like animation, right? So it's not just all there. If it's all there, it kind of kills the presentation factor. It's not the end of the world if it's all there, but it's a bit better if it's not all there right away. And essentially what you do is you open up this slide. It says, "Is this you?" You say, "Is this you? Are you dealing with the freelancer trap? Do you not have predictability in your marketing? Is your marketing services ad hoc and have you been burned before?" So you're bringing up objections that you know they'll have that you can break down even before you talk about how you can service them, because then they can't talk about it afterwards. Doesn't make any sense for them to do that.
So
right?
let's say I'm spinning up a sales engine. I'm trying to use that verb, spinning up a sales engine for med spas. And I could
Yes.
literally say, is this you? I'm on the sales call, open up my slide deck, go, hey, before we get started, I got a couple questions. Is this you? Are you a med spa with 2 to 5 employees that's sick and tired of unpredictable booked appointments?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nailed it. It's exactly it. And again, if you do it in that animation style where like opens up one by one,
Yeah.
and then give them the chance to express themselves. Don't just be like, yes, like you have had that, right?
Yeah.
Is that a thing you've dealt with? Can you tell me a little bit about that? What you're doing is actually you're qualifying them to be identifying that you know them as an expert, which is huge.
Yeah.
Number two, you're also showcasing to them that you know the objections they're going to bring up. You have to do that. The biggest one is, have you been burned by marketing agencies before? If you do that, it allows you to bring up what's most commonly, it's pretty much the most common objection outside of like the partner or wife or simply I don't have the money objection.
Yeah.
But when it's not those objections, it's pretty much every time like, Jeff, I want to believe you, man. But like, bro, I've been burned.
Yeah.
Like, me too. I know what that's like. So then you tell them about how you can help and serve them so they're not being burned. And it's really, really cool.
So since we can't yet see your screen, and I don't know if you're comfortable sharing with you, or just send it to me, I'll bring it up.
Okay, I got it.
If I understand, it's 3 to 5 lines that are effectively like, have you been, is this you? And one of them is always, have you been burned before, right? But those 4 or 5 extra ones, is that just based upon you figuring it out? Is that based upon customer research, failures you've had in the past? Just based on customer research. Gotcha.
Yeah, customer research, just understanding like what they need and what they have and what they're dealing with. Like my standard one for attorneys are, is this you? Are you generating cases mostly by referrals? Yes. Are you struggling to beat the competition because they're running billboard and radio advertising that's too expensive?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Have you been burned by a marketing agency promising the world from Facebook ads? Yes. Okay, awesome. And utilizing those very keen, specific details for that market, insanely valuable. Works really well. So that's the first slide. The second slide is your irresistible offer. Now, this is like the most valuable thing I can tell you. It's the thing that people pay me literally $10,000 for. I'm going to give it to you right now. Mm-hmm. Very important. And Jeff, when I told you this the first time in your office, you're like, what? Or what? Yeah. Amazing. You have to have a unique selling proposition. And by doing that, you must package it in a perception value that creates a unique method. Yeah. So the greatest example I've seen of this is someone that I work with now, who's my partner, Brian Downard. When he originally was running in this space, he was offering LinkedIn prospecting services. Mm-hmm. And his methodology wasn't that he was doing LinkedIn prospecting services. He was doing the open technique. And Jeff, I'll send you the link right now so you can open it up because it's really mind-blowing when you see it. And basically what the open technique is, it's LinkedIn prospecting solutions, but it's his unique angle in that model, right? So I'm going to show this to you guys. I'll have Jeff open it up so you guys can see it.
So that would be like the Wallet Out campaign or the plus system or whatever like cool name you can give. Like it's not an electric car, it's a Tesla, something like that, right?
Exactly. And if you have a mechanism, like it's an acronym, it works even better. Can I find the open one here? There we go. Perfect. And now you will be able to open it up. Everything goes slower when we're going live. Okay. Yep. And there you go. It's done. Now you can open it. So when you get what I just did there, now you can open it.
Now we can open it.
So basically what you'll see here is just like a simple diagram breaking down the methodology, right? So what I have my clients do, and this is insanely valuable, so please hear me out on this. You do a 5-minute demo prior to the sales call, showing them this framework right here, right? So I'll give you a quick example. 3, 2.
There we go. Cool.
3, 2, 1. Hey there, Alex here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video, that means you're interested in our open technique and need more help being effective through LinkedIn prospecting. Now, what we've done is we've put together the 4-step process that's proven to achieve predictable growth through LinkedIn prospecting for B2B or B2C businesses. What I'll do in this quick video is show you these 4-step simple elements, and then we'll jump on an audit call where I'll break down these 4 elements for you specifically and see how you can implement this for your own business. On that call, if I can help you, I'll make you an offer to do so. And if not, at the very least, you'll have this methodology to implement yourself. All right, so let's dive in. The first step is optimized positioning, and we do this, this, and this. And then the next step is prospecting filters, where we do this, this, and this. And then the third step is engagement scaling systems, which we do this, this, and this. And then the 4th step, finally, is the nurturing sales systems, where we do, you got it, this, this, and this. If you enjoyed this model and you're something that you're interested in doing, I hope we get the opportunity to jump on an open audit call. We'll break down these 4 levers for your business, and I'll see you very soon. Now, when you get on the sales call and you say, hey, did you see that video I saw it? Guess what's going to happen? If they say yes, they're going to be blown away that you have some unique model that they've never seen before, right? And now you can sell them. This is important to me, though, and you can stop sharing now. This is important to me. Guys, I just gave you the serious secret sauce. Use it with integrity, please. Use it with integrity. Don't just make up some bullshit, right? And then sell it because I just taught you how to manipulate someone and then don't provide them a value. Do something, do right by people. Like, that's why we're here, like, to really support you. Don't just like take that and be like, well, now I know how to manipulate people. Give me your wallet. Ha ha ha. Sucks for you. The reason Jeff created the Wallet Out campaign, besides for having kind of his jovial, silly style of like, I want to have a name for this, there's a perception value to it, right? It's not just like this is an ad campaign. It's the Wallet Out campaign, right? Yep. When Jeff did his presentation, the 2 that I've seen, one of the funniest I've ever seen and heard, right? His is how to yell at clients and make more money, right? Yep. That is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard, right? That's just the idea. It makes you want to think about it. I actually saw that. I saw Jeff do that, and I thought of it. I was like, okay, the name of my, at the time, my keynote was the 6 key business systems. Who the hell wants to listen to the 6 key business systems versus the how to yell at your clients and make more money? So I changed it. I said the honeymoon from hell. And guess what? It created a lot more intrigue because they're like, the honeymoon from hell? What is this? I want to know, right? Which is so strange, but that's how people's brains work. Really interesting.
So if I understand correctly, what you just did, is this your VSL? Like, that's the video that they have to watch before they schedule, right? So you can say, did you watch the video? And now you're in control of the conversation and qualified, and you know if you're going to spend 45 minutes.
It would be an outbound VSL for my terminology. Like, VSL to me is like inbound. This is more outbound, but I think we're kind of like nitpicking in terms of language. But what I call it is a 5-minute demo. So like, basically showing them what you do before you get on the call with them to showcase like why the call will be valuable. I get a lot of people. So like what I mainly coach, Jeff, just straight up 100%, is a prospecting system. We use GHL and it has like an automation in it. And then we have them pick up the phone after they've made a connection and call them and be like, can we book this call? Did you see that message? And usually it's a name of their offer plus audit. So like open audit, case assessment, fast method, those types of calls. And then they get on the call and I listen to the recording. And a lot of the times they're like, yeah, like, I just want to get to know you. I don't really know who you are. However, if you send the demo before they get on the call, they're like, this is how the call is going to go. This is what I want to talk about. We're going to do this open demo. Did you watch the video? Oh, I did. It's super interesting. I want to know more about it. The rapport is now connected. Yeah. Even in outbound. And that's amazing, right? It's literally amazing. So is
there a way to apply this inside of like a cold emailing prospecting process? So like you send an email, they reply yes, you get on the phone, say, great, would you like to talk Thursday at 2 p.m. for a demo or something like that? Do you then say, great, I'm going to send you this video. I want you to watch it first?
Usually, doesn't mean they do though, but that's exactly what we do on the warm calls. And then if they don't answer the warm call, it's in there anyways. Like, so a good example, like one of them we do is like a nurture question. So can you handle 10 more roofing jobs this month? If they don't answer, the next one was like, hey, you might've saw that I was trying to give you roofing, opportunities here in Atlanta. We do a proven process system called the open method. Check it out. Here's a quick video on it. That's the same idea. So it works before the call's booked, after the call's booked, or after a first qualification call, which obviously, Jeff, that's not my style. I want one call closes, but sometimes it's the case.
That's why we did the one call close masterclass, because I was like, I have no idea how to do that. I'm so used to like just spending so much time. They're like, sure, Jeff seems fine, but you really have like why not, right? But you really have a way of owning the process and owning the relationships where they just feel like I feel like emotionally capable and obligated to pay this person money. And so like
yeah, you said that. Some people tell me that they're like, they feel this like obligation to call and I like to pay. And I'm like, that's not the purpose of what I'm doing here. I want to make sure that comes across. But I get that. Like when you create a human connection, it's hard to say no to people, right? You have to give them the avenue to say no, because when you don't give someone the avenue to say no, that's why people ghost people, because they don't have the cojones to just be like, hey, Jeff, man, to be honest with you, it's not the right fit. You know what they're going to do instead, Jeff? They'll be like, Jeff, I like this. Let me talk to my wife. Let me think about it. They leave. They don't answer you for a month. That's it.
We went in a different direction.
In an email, right? Can't possibly tell you that on the phone. Yeah. So going back to the pitch deck here, The other slide, so again, that's the irresistible offer. Again, now I have to open it, make sure it was there.
Yep.
Where did it go? I just had it. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So then the other one is the competition slide. Hat tip to Temple Naylor on this one. I learned this from him, which I thought was really smart. Take the objection away of wanting to consider like the other opportunities by showing them a competition slide. I want to make sure this point is clear because I told this to someone in my community, and then they went ahead and they like literally pulled up like another actual competitor's website and like trashed them. That's not what I'm talking about.
Correct.
No one wants to work with anyone like that. I'm talking about the thematic approach to what the competition is offering. So, for example, if you're doing the open method, this is what we do. We have the open method, a proven process system. It's comprehensive. The competition will run Facebook ads for you, and it's ad hoc. It's bespoke. It's not going to be customized. You're going to be pigeonholed. Not that person, Jeff, fucking sucks. He's the worst. Like, who wants to buy from that?
You did business with him?
It's like, oh, thank God you're not working with them now. You can work with me. No one wants that. That's crazy. I literally was like, did you really think that's what I was talking about? Okay, I need to redo that video. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. The next is proven testimonials. Just backing up your claim. If you guys watched my my masterclass with Jeff, we spoke about the PAC framework, sales psychology, and understanding like the human ego states. One of those human ego states is this idea of being skeptical out of a place of security, like skeptical for their money, skeptical of their time. Proven testimonials overcome skepticism and cynicism. You have to back up bold claims with it. If you don't have it, which I know is going to be the number one question here, get it from a referral partner, get it from someone that you trust, get it from someone that's going to do the actual fulfillment, which comes back to the original question we were talking about, which means you don't have to do everything yourself in your business. Right. And then finally, the ROI calculator and pricing. I learned a very important technique from Brad Newman about this that was really valuable. It took my sales even to another level. And I consider myself and hold myself in quite high regard in sales. One thing I always try to do is like, take off my ego hat for certain things when I realize someone is of my same or similar ability. Because if I only have the ego hat on the whole time, then I hold myself off from learning, right? Great. Okay. I'm super great at sales. I teach wonderfully in sales, but if I really think that I'm perfect at it and I can't learn, then I'm missing out my opportunity to be better myself and thus be better for the people I can support. And if you guys know Brad, I mean, the dude's a freaking genius, obviously with sales. So it's not like I can't possibly learn from him. So most of the time, Jeff, when I was doing sales, and I'm pretty sure I taught this in our masterclass, most of the time I talk about the ROI potential.
Yep.
One thing Brad taught me was talking about the cost of the obstacle, meaning the cost of not taking action. So what I used to do is keep the ROI within a 90-day period. I'll keep the numbers simple here just for the sake of this, okay? You're offering something for $1,000 and you're telling them, and they tell you that their average, revenue per client is $2,000. Okay. That's kind of the model here. So like, okay, if I bring you 5 clients, you're going to make 10,000. You're going to make 5 times return on the investment. Do you see the value in that? I do. Here's the price. That's what I normally did. Brad asked me to add one element to that, and now I've taught it, and it works really well. Okay, so you see the ROI potential there. Let's talk about the cost of not taking action. So if I was able to get you 5 deals at $10,000, and we multiply that by 12, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about at minimum $120,000 a year, but we're being conservative. There's potential you can double that, right? 240, nearly $250,000. The cost of not taking action could be up to $250,000, and a year of time wasted without any progress. Can you afford that? The positioning of that is like, whoa, no, I can't. And I'm in. So I've been doing that really heavy, Jeff, in my sales for the elite program. And it's made a huge difference because it's true. Like there's so much more at stake. The ROI potential is like really minimizing the impact. The cost of not taking action, people fear not taking action more than they fear of taking action and making a mistake, which is really weird, but it's totally the human condition.
It's kind of like the pain of being obese feels worse than the pleasure of being skinny. And so you can talk to me all day long about being skinny. I don't care. I want my pain solved, right? I want my pain relieved. I don't want to feel hurt anymore. And that, because it's like people are pain focused, they will explore many different options, right? They'll say like, yeah, I could go to the gym. I could have a plastic surgeon. I could just stop eating fast food, whatever it is. So if I'm understanding correctly, you not only show them the potential of you could make your money back. It's safe to spend money with me. We've got a unique way of doing this. And here's your 90-day plan on at least getting your ROI. But also, Mr. Johnson, I want to have a real conversation about how much this is costing you And can you afford to not take action? Is that correct?
Nailed it. And Jeff, I've told you this before. I know you don't believe me, but I've told you this before. Like the tonality and the way in which you speak make you an expert salesman.
Yeah.
I really believe this strongly, regardless of us being off Facebook Live. You just consistently telling yourself that you're not so good at sales really makes you not good at sales, but you're really good at it. And I think it's something to learn for everyone else. Like, I know a lot of people on this, like, you're a very modest person, Jeff, but like a lot of people on here hold you in such high regard as I do. And they respect you and your opinion so greatly. And we both have this self-deprecating humor style that meshes really well with each other, you know, dicking around and joshing around. But we also know our shit and we know what we bring to the table. We know we can help people. I think if we're also open with other people to recognize, like, when we are capable of telling ourselves that we're not good at something consistently, it's just going to end up happening that way, right? There's this battle between like, what am I actually good at in terms of strengths and weaknesses, like actual abilities, because since we don't live in like a MMO RPG video game, it doesn't be like Jeff's sales slider is at 84 and Alex is at 92 and Brad's at 99. That's not how it works, guys.
But my life would be so much simpler if it was that.
It'd be so much better. If I could move my passion up from 76 to 82, I would be much happier. But it doesn't work that way, right? So I think that's really key. There was something I wanted to utilize this time for, to ask someone really quick, if you're okay with this, Jeff, to get clarity on someone, to kind of put you in a position of really recognizing where you stand at this point and really knowing where you are in your agency. And I have a really good question for you on that. If 10 clients, and I'm not saying this to Jeff, I'm saying this to you, the audience. If 10 clients came to you right now, money in hand, ready to buy your core product, whatever that core product may be, could you, without any reservation, restrictions whatsoever, accept them right now? 10. And as soon as you say no, okay, if you say yes, fine, great, amazing, you have an amazing agency. If you say no, let's move down. 8. 5.
Very interesting.
When you utilize this language and mindset and start identifying really what your ceiling is, only then can you realize the leaky bucket in front of you. Normally, we don't realize the ceiling until we hit the ceiling. So until an opportunity comes where it's like, holy crap, I work with this type of gym, like a Pure Barre, and I just reached out and got in touch with the main person at Pure Barre, and they loved my fast system, and now they want to give me 100 Pure Barres, and I'm like, fuck, I can't even do 3 more. Crap. And you realize all this time you've been trying to do like random outreach on LinkedIn because like that's what people say. You're missing the mark, guys. So I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you playing business or are you running a business?
You know, what's so crazy is that like, I know you directed it to the audience, but I was trying to answer that question. It was like, could I take 10 clients today? And I'm like, yes, but. It wasn't a no, it was a yes, but. So and I was like, the but is I would have to do it over the course of like 3 or 4 days, right? But what's interesting is when you said 8 or 7, I was like, I could take 8 or 7, but I can't take 10 today, right? And so that's one of the bottlenecks and the frustrations and the constrictions of my business. That means my offer isn't completely white label fulfilled, right? That is entirely distinct and different from Apple, who could take like, yeah, buy as many iPhones as you want. Amazon, buy as many, more, right? We don't have a more scenario, right? We have a just enough scenario, right? And that has a lot to do with the way people structure what they do in exchange for money, aka the offer, right? And so I've got the Wallet Out campaign, customer research driven, Facebook ad, all that fun stuff. I need to put myself in a position where as an agency owner, I can say more instead of just enough. And that means SOPs, that means white label fulfillment partners, that means a better way of understanding internal stuff. Hell, maybe that means just set up a Slack channel of Loom videos, something like simple, right? But increasing that just enough to where it becomes as much as I want, right?
Super powerful technique for you, Jeff, and for everyone listening that works so well in fixing this problem, right? And the idea of making sure that you have no built-in ceiling comes from understanding what that current ceiling is, right? Like, again, this clarity over ambiguity side of things. If you have ambiguity on everything, you're just going to be running like forever, get burnt out and be like, I didn't achieve anything ever and I suck, which is so crappy. Why do you live in that mindset? Why do you live in that place, right? I don't want you to live there. Jeff doesn't want you to live there. And I know you don't want to live there. So stop. It's just that easy. So now how do you actually go ahead and fix these elements? Like, how do you go ahead and get clarity on the end goal, right? How do you get clarity on how to bring on enough clients? So the answer is pretty easy. And I know this sounds simple, but it is. It really is simple. It's taking one step backwards, getting clarity on where you want to go, right? And then identifying this. Every time you make an offer to someone, you're thinking in your mind, I'm going to get this result. Let's go with a simple one. I'm going to get 20 clients for this person, and they're going to pay me $2,000 a month for it. Switch it. You're going to get this result for how much amount of time required by you. Because every human being in the world, this is something that's always been a masterful mindset for me, right? I'm very, very inspired by sports figures. I've been that way since I'm a little kid. I love LeBron James, love Dwayne Wade, love Jason Taylor, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, obviously. Like I've always been inspired by people being at the highest abilities, but also utilizing that highest ability to work really hard, right?
Yeah.
Because mediocre men are capable of extraordinary things through hard work.
Yeah.
Except all mediocre men, all exceptional human beings, everyone has the same exact variable, 24 hours.
Time.
No one's changes. No matter the amount of money you have, you cannot buy it more of it. Now, can you wake up earlier? Can you go to sleep later? Sure. All those things are fine. But the reality is you still have 24 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Or maximum, excuse me. 24 hours maximum per day. So the question is, at some point, you've built in a ceiling, like logistically right now, okay? We have 60 people on this live. If suddenly, as soon as we ended this call, all 60 people reached out to me personally, and they're like, all of us want to get on a call with you, Alex, all of us. You realize it's physically impossible to do all 60 calls, even if they're like 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure you still can't do 60 of them. I'm not good at math here, but like,
yeah.
It would be ridiculous, right? It would be the whole day, basically. It's not feasible. Okay, let's say there was an automated webinar then. Okay, so I saved my time, and then all of you bought a program, but now I have to do an hour-long call for all of you. Not feasible again, right? You start recognizing through time what your real barriers are. That's the only way you can scale. This is how we build what we call the infinitely scalable agency. This is what we're going to be talking about POD Live. This is why I came on this live with Jeff and why I really put my foot in the ground and built a line in the sand on this model. Because for so long, I would have this opportunity to create more revenue, but I couldn't take it with integrity because I couldn't deliver. So it comes back to the story and that little picture that Jeff made that was so pretty with that gorgeous man on it. I have no idea who he is. He had a lot more hair than I did at the time. That was me. And it said how I made $12,000 accidentally with one question. So I'll tell you this story, and I think it will resonate with you because at the time I had all time to me, but now if it happened, I don't know if it would be feasible.
Yep.
So I'll share. It's very interesting. So when I was in ending high school, I had 6 months before high school ended, before going to college, and I wanted to become an attorney. And so I thought I would work with my next door neighbor who's an attorney. And I went to the first time I ever got into his car and drove down. He asked me, "Why do you want to be an attorney?" And I gave him some dumbass spiel, like a 17-year-old or 16-year-old would. And he was like, yeah, my mission is to show you why it sucks ass to be an attorney.
Yeah.
I didn't end up becoming an attorney. So about a month and a half into working with him, Facebook had come out with business pages. This is early 2010, I think, maybe the late 2009. And he was like, business pages, I think, are going to be a big deal on Facebook. He was right. He was very right. So he paid me $1,000 a month to post for him once a day on Facebook, and to send one email a week from Constant Contact. This is how old this is, right? And I was like, this is amazing. I'm making a good amount of money. I'm young, and this is awesome. And now I'm going to college, and I have a little bit more money. So I thought logically, Lloyd went to school with other attorneys, right? Maybe he's still close with some of them that I went to school in Orlando. Maybe he can connect me with someone there. So I said, hey, Lloyd, do you know any attorneys that you went to law school with in Orlando that I could potentially utilize as clients and serve them on the same thing that I'm doing for you? He said, Alex, I love that initiative. This is why you're going to be successful. In fact, not only do I know an attorney in Orlando, I know several all over Florida and across the East Coast, and I'm going to send them all to you. He sent me 20 different attorneys. 18-year-old Alex was very much not prepared for this, but 18-year-old Alex is very similar to 28-year-old Alex, which is I'm going to go full steam ahead and give everything I've got, right? Fear is not really a thing. It's more so like, I'm just going to try it. If I look like a dunce, then I'll look like a dunce, but I'll give it everything I got. Got on 20 conversations, 10 of them paid me money. They made $12,000 from one question instantaneously.
Yep.
Right? And I had no idea what I was doing. I basically lost all of those clients within 4 months because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, right? Doesn't mean I was a bad person. I was giving what I had, just didn't know what I was doing logically. That's the truth. And they knew what was at stake. I didn't go in there. I was like, I'm the best in the world. No, it's like, I'm 18 and I post for you on Facebook. Do you want that? Yes. Cool. Give me money. That was it. That was literally it. This is way before I knew anything about digital marketing and that it was even a business opportunity, right? So again, if that position is in your place where, by the way, just side note, if you're taking the nugget out, any company, any person you work with that has friends in the space because they went to a school for it, like law school, medical school, a trade school, they're probably still connected. Use that to your advantage. You can proliferate your growth almost instantly. It's the fastest way to growth, literally the fastest way. I have helped 150 plus people hit 6 figures in the agency model. About 23 of them hit 7 figures. By far the fastest way, without question, is the people that already have clients, asking those clients if they can proliferate their growth through referrals. By just asking.
Yep.
People don't even fucking ask. All you have to do is just ask. What's the worst case scenario? They say no. Best case scenario is they send you 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. It's insane, right? So again, if 10 clients came to you right now, money in hand, ready to buy from you, can you accept them with integrity, with confidence? Not just like, I'll take their money and fuck them over. Not that. Can you really serve them? If the answer is no, then you're playing business. Sorry to say. You have a freelance agency, you're a freshman, as Jeff would say. And I think that's really powerful and important to talk about.
So it's really cool, the learnings that have come from just spending, 45 minutes or so, because the biggest thing for me was really taking a step back and saying your VSL really should have a slide that pre-conquers objections. You really should have a USP, and you should be always asking your question like, so how many clients could you take today? And if that answer is not aligning with your goal for your health, wealth, your relationships, you probably should change your relationship with your agency, your offer, or hell, just hire a VA and spend $5 an hour so you can go from 7 clients to 10. That's it. And what's even more interesting about that last sentence is that, like, when you hire a VA or find a white label fulfillment partner, you're separating your happiness from your business's success. And you can't let your business control your emotions. Like, imagine if, like, you didn't get a sale and you just plunged into depression. That would be the end of everything, right? That's fundamentally different than saying, I got a salesperson didn't make a sale, or I got a white label fulfillment partner who didn't fulfill the order. I can just find somebody else.
So Jeff, you know Kemet Dominguez, right? So I hired him as one of the first salespeople because I couldn't take all the calls I wanted to. And he sold 10 grand worth of last month, right? And I swear to you, bro, the Stripe pings of him making the sale, 10 times more impactful than me. And it's different because, like, for me, I really love doing it. But to be like in a conversation with Shira about like something about our event and then like ping 5,000, you're like, wow. And it's even though I coach it, even though I do it, it still happens. Like, it's still an impactful experience. And I love that opportunity for people to take that with them. Like, don't play business, run a business. And if you want to learn how to build an infinitely scalable agency, well, I think now is a good time to talk about it.
POD Live. Hey. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So Jeff and I both live in Florida, in case you guys are unaware. We live about 4 hours separate from each other. He lives in beautiful Miami, Florida, looking over my favorite team's stadium, Miami Heat right there. And I live in Tampa, Florida, which is way better than Miami. Just throwing that out there, Jeff. Got to throw the shade at you.
The real estate is just so much more affordable, to be honest. Like,
dude, like, we can talk about that out. It's not even comparable. It's ridiculous. So we're going to run an event here in Tampa at the end of the month, February 28th, 29th, and March 1st. 29th is a leap year, so it's a very special day. It's going to be a 3-day epic event with agency owners, coaches, and consultants. We have 103 agency owners confirmed right now, including this guy and that guy.
Yay!
Yeah. Be a lot of fun. Some of the people that you absolutely love and adore and respect in this industry will be there. Christine Seal will be there. People that Jeff and I have both worked with and love. Icon Becker will be the MC of the event, which is holy crap. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's absolutely going to be amazing. Kemet Dominguez will be there. Brian Downer will be there. My beautiful wife, Shira, will be speaking at the event. Dan Levens, who, if you have not heard him, wow. Amazing, like literally life-changing person. He will change your life in 10 minutes. It's incredible. Sean Clark of the Go High Level team will be there speaking. JC Height, if you want white label fulfillment, will be at the event. Abraham Heisler, the master of creating really impactful environment through powerful breath work, will be there. Brandon Duff, who has created Facebook Messenger CRMs to help make your Facebook Messenger a whole lot easier. We've got the best of the best in the world coming, and our entire focus is an implementation of creating the infinitely scalable agency. And ultimately what that means is a 2-hour agency. You work no more than 2 hours every single day in the business. And in the business means working on project management, QA of your team, making sure your team is operating and running effectively, and you do what you want to do on the business, being the visionary of the company, growing the way you want to. I'm going to be really real with you guys right now, straight up 100%. 3 weeks ago on Thursday, I found out that I needed to have heart surgery. I knew for a while that I would have to have it. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would be 10, 20 years from now, but it needs to be now. Thankfully, it doesn't need to be emergency surgery. So I have the ability. The first question I asked him was, number one, can I still be a dad? Most important thing to me in the whole world. He said, yes, you're good. I said, number two, can I run this event or do I need to have surgery first? He said, when's the event? I told him, and he said, you can do it the day after. That's what he said, which I'm not doing it the day after. It's going to be like a week after. But legitimately, I am so passionate about the opportunity of bringing together a community of people that are online right now that are giving us an hour of your time. What is that like in person, right? If you haven't actually met Jeff, or you haven't actually met me or Christine or Icon or Brian or Shira or any of these people online, and you're just behind this, it's not the same. It's just not the same. We are here to make the most impact possible. This is the thing that I am by far best at. Jeff's seen me speak a couple of times. It's definitely my best skill, without question. I'm good at sales coaching. I'm solid at prospecting. I'm good at kind of leveling with people and mentoring people, but I'm the best on stage. And that's where I really control myself at the highest level. And it's something that I want to do more than anything. It's been my number one goal since I started this business. If you are playing business and not running business, if you are struggling to realize that you're not alone with the obstacles you're dealing with, if you can't figure out how to create an effective offer, or how to build a leverageable business, or how to SOP certain processes, or how to make a unique sales model, or how to actually create something that's irresistible, or how to actually communicate to your audience why you're valuable, or how to build something that is going to last a legacy, then join us. Let me support you, and I'll make it easier for you. If you join us, I will give you the sales masterclass that Jeff and I did. It's I think it's $97 masterclass that we did.
$97. Yep.
It's absolute fire. It's incredible. Jeff at the event, by the way, I was going to start the event. I don't want to spoil it. I'm gonna hold it up. I always speak from the heart. So sometimes I want to just withhold some things. Really hard for me to withhold things at the event because I'm doing a bunch of silly stuff with Icon that we're excited about because it'd be fun. So I'll make this point to you. It's a no risk event. If you are not happy after day one, I'll pay you your money back and I'll give you $200. It's impossible to happen. If you are here in Florida or around the states similarly close, come down. We have 14 tickets legitimately available. That's what we're allowed to have at the space, about 120. I asked them if we have 121, will they actually kick us out? And she whispered back to me that if you have 130, you should be good. But, I don't really want to have to be like, fire marshal, get out. But I want you there. And I'd love to see you. And I promise you it'll be worth your time. It's going to be awesome.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gents, I'm going to throw my name into the hat and push you over the edge. If you're thinking about doing POD live, and if you buy your ticket as a function or because of this because of this interview right here, I'm going to give you the Prove Your Leads Are Legit Masterclass so you can keep your client 75% longer. More often by proving what you're doing is working. It's the very same things that I taught about yell at your clients so that they renew and pay you more money longer. So if you get your ticket to POD Live, you can get the Al Shalinsky One Call Close Deposit Collecting Masterclass. And you can also get the Prove Your Leads Are Legit Masterclass. It will blow you out of the water. Using those two things plus POD Live will be massively impactful to you in your growth.
I'm going to add one more spice for you for urgency and scarcity, because I think that's how marketing works, right? The first 3 people that buy a ticket right now to Prospecting On Demand Live, buy your GA ticket at $297. We will upgrade you to VIP. You will get the recordings of the event. You will sit in the front, and you will come to our VIP dinner on Saturday night.
Absolutely fantastic.
Which is going to be dope. It's going to be amazing.
I'm going to put that link in here. I'm going to put first 3 get VIP. There you go. That link is in the chat now.
VIP in the back. So do I get upgraded to Ultra VIP? I'm like, dude, that is the VIP. You just
that's as good as it gets.
Wrong. You didn't get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be cool. Turning from freelancer to CEO, 3 days. It's going to be epic. Implementation focused. Day 1 is going to be heavy on education implementation. We're going to do 2 hours of breakout tables at the end of the day after heavy heavy coaching in the workbook. Day 2, we're going to use those breakout tables again to work on some specific elements for your business with all the coaches we have. We're going to have 13 coaches there at the event, which I'm super proud of. It's going to be amazing. And then the third day is basically all implementation, working on these things. You will make money at the event. You'll be challenged at the event. You'll be stepping out of your comfort zone at the event. But I promise you, you will laugh, you will cry, you will learn. That's the key. That's the goal. I'm super excited about it.
Ladies and gents, Alex Shlinsky, Alex, been a pleasure. Don't hang up. We're going to offboard real fast, but that's the end of the interview. Everyone go kick some butt, take some names, join POD. See you guys later. Bye.
See you soon.